Every story has sometimes a connection, even if you haven't heard about that person before. There are some steps that actually in the end make sense. Although now we're really beginning to wonder, is there another villain faction after Salem? Or no, not after Salem. Is there another villain faction besides Salem? Or is it possible that this villain faction is also one of Salem's earlier followers? It's just that we haven't seen them yet. We cannot forget what the old Hazel said, that they dealt with their kind before, the silver-eyed warriors. So who knows, really? The Angry Enemy fan here. And yes, I am a little dazed. It was a pretty sleepless night of RWBY Season 6, Episode 7. We see a flashback of Maria back then when she was a well-known huntress. Yes, she was a huntress. Specifically, she never used her real name. Her name as a huntress was the Grimm Reaper. She even had a sight and a grim mask. She was what Grimm feared, until the day she ran into assassins led by a crocodile fauna named Tok, who had an ability to become invulnerable for 60 seconds, which unfortunately caught Maria off guard, and so her eyes were slashed. Unfortunately for Tok, she was too arrogant to realize that even though Maria couldn't see, she used the telekinesis-like ability to draw things in to her to kill Tok. And ever since that day she went into hiding because she was embarrassed of herself. Not only because she lost her eyes, which made her more confident in a fighting, but also because she was ashamed of herself for have lost. Maria is a woman with honor. However, now she considers herself a mistake, a failure, and the fact that she could do so many things even after her surgery, which gave her a little bit of ability to see. She didn't have the confidence to return as a huntress, and she has hated herself for that ever since. It's worth mentioning, though, that she is actually saying that I'm happy at least this generation is up for the task. I mean, has she even seen the morale of Team RWBY? Team RWBY's morale is not exactly so very high right now. Also, we see a quick shot of Cinder, who is apparently still following Salem's orders a little bit, knowing that she cannot kill RWBY because, well, Salem needs RWBY for some strange reason. However, she believes that Neo can. I guess in the end she's just gonna use this as an excuse. Oh, Cinder, just drop dead this arc, please. Eventually, though, Team RWBY rides away, they get a call from John. Yes, they're finally near the city and are happily reunited with each other. Especially let Nora give a group hug, well, a bear hug to Oscar. That is pretty funny. It's also worth noting that even RWBY and Jean share a emotional hug here. If it weren't for the fact that I'm still curious about RWBY, I would have actually considered this hug a ship tease hug. But that's not what it is. It's impossible. After all, I have my suspicions. But then they go around the tour on a railway in the city that they are now in. And it turns out this city is a lot modeled after San Francisco, including the train. A joint kingdom that used to be defended by Atlas a lot. But thanks to Atlas' strict military rules now, that protection is slowly disappearing. It's all thanks to General Iroh becoming more paranoid than he already is. Granted, however, a lot of his paranoia turned out to be true, but still. And elsewhere, John and Team Juniper or whatever. No, not Juniper. Well, Team John has actually stayed at John's sister's house. In fact, this is the first time we see one of John's sisters, and probably the only one. We see a photo of John's sisters. It appears there were two as twins. One looked extremely boyish, one had glasses, and another one had something else. Well, either way, this is one of John's oldest sisters. It's not worth noting if this is the oldest sister, but this is Saffron, a lesbian woman that is married to another woman, and they have a son together. How, I have no idea, but it's the remnants, so it's okay. It's It's pretty good that they're treating this very casually. However, it appears that Saffron's wife has some little problems with the communication as she is a technician. And Saffron dotes a lot on John. It creates some pretty hilarious moments of it all. However, the team RWBY cannot get to the military because the military closes them off. How are they going to get a boat? Moreover, how is John going to react once he hears the truth about what the Jinn said? We have all seen the music one. And this episode also reveals that Crow really wanted to be like the Grim Reaper Maria before, because he based his scythe playing on Maria's original scythe weapon. Well, now you're really a disappointment, aren't you, Crow? So yeah, a short but sweet episode. Big information. And also some breather of it all. But I have a feeling we're gonna get into tension soon. Will Nora regret the hug once they hear about the truth that Aspen has been hiding? I don't know. And you probably don't know. But do give me your thoughts if you have any.